featured on YouTube, as it were. Otherwise, yeah, stand, sit, relax, whatever feels good. So, so the first thing is to find ourselves a comfortable posture. So it doesn't really matter whether you're sitting or lying down or standing. The reason that I tend to stand is that 𝐬𝐤 has this standing story as its basis. It's the energy gathering method that Dr. Pang recommends. And of course, when we think about it, we rarely stand for an hour, ever. We're always looking to lean against something or sit down on something. And so by standing, it's a very, very good way of gently building up energy. So we can slowly build up the chi in our legs, slowly build up the strength in our lower bodies. And of course, as we get older, that's a really important thing to have. So it's a useful tool to learn, but it's not for everybody straight away. And so what I often say to people is that, why not just put something like a dining room chair behind you so you can stand up and then, sit down if you need to sit down. And so it gives you a chance for, both opportunities. And if you have the chair sort of sitting behind you, then the idea is that it's not going to disturb you to sit down, as it were, because you can just quietly plonk down into the chair and it doesn't change your mind state. So for us, this morning class on a Wednesday is much more about the mind than it is about the body. If we can take up the standing posture, and I'll just run you through very basics of it, just stand with your feet at a wide shoulder width, bend your knees a little bit, let your tailbone softly tuck forward. And then this idea of sitting down with the tailbone, but at the same time lifting up with the top of the head. So tailbone goes down, top of the head goes up, and we just sort of feel the spine is somewhat stretched between these 2 points. The knees being gently bent activates the calves and the thighs, and so that starts us to exercise the lower body, although it doesn't really feel like it. But over time, it builds up great strength and endurance in the legs. Sometimes you might find that your legs will wobble or your knees will shake a bit, and that's fine. That's just chi kind of juddering through the muscles and the bones and the joints. So it's not to be worried about. We just ignore it. And we just try to persevere. And when you get to the stage where you think, I'd like to sit down, just try and give yourself 1 more minute before you sit down and then go ahead and do it. And if you're sitting down already, that's no problem. That's fine. There's no judgment. It's just about helping yourself, seeing what you can do, as it were. So we have this posture with our shoulder width, wide stance, our knees gently bent, tailbone slightly tucked forward. And when we move the tailbone forwards, that just straightens up our lower back a little bit. We have the arms hanging down by the sides. Eventually, you might bring the hands around to hold a ball in front of your belly, or just gently round in front of your thighs. There's all sorts of different postures that we can take up with our standing. But then by moving our hands, it helps to sort of focus the energy inside the body, but actually also, it can also put a bit of strain between our shoulder blades on our lower back. So you just have to see what you can do that's not going to disturb you from the main event, I suppose, from the main thrust of what we're doing, which is to try and find ourselves in a nice, quiet mind space. So, yeah, find a comfortable standing posture or sitting posture. Let the whole body relax. Dr. Pang has created this poem. It's called The 8 Phrases of Qi. And encapsulated in this poem, it's standard Chinese poemic form. It's got 8 lines, and each line has got 4 characters on it. In the same way in English, we have kind of limericks. It's not a funny poem he's written, but in the same way, we have limericks, which are the 5 lines, or sonnets. He's got this idea of his 8 phrases. And the 8 phrases encapsulates the whole idea of everything we're trying to achieve. And so it's easy enough to say the 8 phrases in Chinese, because in each of the Chinese characters is encapsulated a huge idea. And so to translate them out into English is much more complex. has a much wider kind of idea, but I shall give it my best shot anyway. And so it goes like this. I'll give you the Chinese first. And in fact, it's very often sung. So I'll sing it for you today. All you need to do is just have a nice, steady, quiet mind. And just allow the ideas to kind of wash over you. So it goes like this. Tou Tian Che Di Shen Song Yi Chong Wai Ji Em Mei Ji Shen Chong Mao Gong Yin Yang Bo Qi Shen Zhu Tai Kong Chen Yi Jiao Ti Jiu Shen Rong Rong Jiu Shen Rong Rong Jiu Shen Rong. So the first line speaks of this idea, connecting to the earth below, but beyond that idea, through the earth, the blue sky beyond that, out into the universe, connecting from the head up into the blue sky, beyond, out into the universe. We think of the 6 directions of qi, connecting out in front of us, out into the universe, connecting behind us, out into the universe, to the left and to the right, up and down, the whole body gently dissolving and expanding out into the universe. Sometimes we can have this sensation of kind of being trapped in this body, feeling like this body isn't doing what we want it to do. And that somehow this body was destined for bigger things and it seems limited. But now, as we allow ourselves to gently dissolve into the chi field around us, none of that seems to matter anymore. I often joke and I say, we're just like little chi goldfish swimming in a beautiful chi pool. Around us, our universe. We often hear quantum science talking about dark matter and other things. And we sort of think, they say space is not a vacuum, it's entirely filled with energy. And this is it, we just can't perceive the energy that we're swimming in. But we are in this wonderful field of energy. And our bodies happen to be very kind of tense, dense versions of this energy. This energy is all around us all the time, this wonderful resource. And so Qigong just asks you to gently soften into that idea Gently feel your way back into nature. Gently allow your body just to become one with everything around you. And suddenly the confinement of this body doesn't seem so pressing anymore. You realize that there are these vast resources of qi. You can just soften gently into the background energy. Allow yourself to open to the qi field around you. We're very accustomed to the idea of radio waves and X-rays and energy like that. This is much finer. Makes everything. The only thing that really, really keeps us, contains us, is the logical side of our brain. The actual receptors in your brain are really quite limited. We always hear these stories that dogs are able to hear much higher frequencies than us, that other animals have a much wider wavelength of light that they can see. So we find that actually our senses are quite limited. We come to trust them so much, we absolutely believe that they are the last word in sort of gathering information. And then we hear that actually they're not at all, that they're quite limited in their own way. And so we just allow ourselves to accept this idea that there's much more to this system than the left logical side of our brain is letting us know about. This idea that we only use 10% of our brain, what's the other 90% for? At one stage, perhaps we could perceive all these things. Perhaps we could connect to all these other times, dimensions, energy fields. So when we start to come into this soft, relaxed state, and we connect outwards, brings us back somewhat to this idea of us as universal beings, rather than us as these finite, dense beings. We have all these senses we don't use so much. The reason that you automatically turn round when someone's looking at you. What is that? How does that happen? There's something there. Our energy fields, which are much finer, much more beautiful. We really don't access that very often. We're just allowing ourselves to soften back into these possibilities, these potentialities, dissolving into our qi field. So this is the first step, is dissolve into the qi field. But it's such a big step. There are so many ideas stitched into this. What happens if you let go of this moment of reality? What happens if you let go of all of the associations you've made throughout your life? Before we even arrive here, we're deeply interconnected into this web that we're about to be born into. We're connected through our DNA, but we're also connected through our family stories, connected with our grandparents and our parents and generations before. And that's even before we arrive, before we're born. And then when we're born, so many other things come piling into our lives. Stories about religion, stories about health, Stories about schooling, stories about society and our history, the weight that's poured on top of us. Stories from our family, our children, our lovers, our work colleagues. Stories that we tell ourselves. All of this vast amount of information that you're able to put down now. Because they are just that, stories. And perhaps the reason you're here today is about health. Perhaps a doctor has given you a diagnosis of some sort. We enjoy certainty in our lives. The truth is, you can never really be certain of anything. And so when somebody says to you, this is what you've got, you think, oh, at least I know now. We enjoy that certainty of knowing something. But the reality is that the information you're being given is on a very low level. You're being given this information by someone who doesn't understand the fabric of the universe. You're being given this information by someone who thinks they have the answer, and yet is fighting with one hand tied behind their backs. They've got this whole science idea, but they've missed out on the vastness of everything. And so perhaps you've been given this information and you've taken it to heart on some level. I'm asking you to dissolve that today too, because that is just another story. And like so many of our stories, they're ill-informed, misinformed, coming from a place of helpfulness, but not necessarily actually helpful at all. It's this sort of story of when parents try to punish children and say, I'm just doing it for your own good. It's still punishment, isn't it? Coming from the wrong place, trying to do a good thing, trying to be helpful. And so sometimes we're given this information on a very low level. And we're just going to allow that information to dissolve now. So take your diagnoses, rip them up. You can imagine some sort of sheet, like the sort of clipboard they put on the end of a bed. You can take it and snap it and burn it and rip it up, throw it away. You can see some doctor giving you some grave information and just dissolve that. Let it go. That doesn't have to be your truth. Your truth is that you are a universal being made of chi, and that you can change anything. Did you hear that? Do you hear that deep in every cell of your body? You are a universal being. You can change anything, anything in your body, in your life, in your stories. Nothing need remain the same. Every day we rewrite the story of ourselves. Let's do it again. Let's do it right here. Let's rewrite that story now. Let's reinvent ourselves as a happy, healthy person. Let's reinvent ourselves, having gone past all of these problems. Let's see a future with you, happy, healthy, well, smiling. No problem. You can do this. We do this here every Wednesday together. We rewrite our stories. So feel your connection outwards. Feel your connection to the earth and the heavens. Feel your connection to the universe. And when we do that, we let our bodies relax. Our minds just become calm. So first of all, we need our body to relax. And so that's why if you want to sit down, that's no problem. If you want to lie down, that's no problem. But if you can stand in a relaxed, soft way, that's great. Just gathering energy while we're working. Your body still gathers energy anyway. This is the sort of optimum way, I suppose. We need the body to relax. It's been in fighting mode for so long. Been in fear mode for so long. Been in anger mode, grief, sadness, worry, fear. Fear is the really key one. For so long. Now you can let your body relax. Let those ideas go as well. We have to chase back up the stream, as it were. What is it that made you fearful? Who made you angry? Time to let them go. Often those people are even dead, and they're still there, creating problems for us. Let them go. What counteracts these things? Love. Just love. Love your body. Love every cell in your body. Love those people from the past. It can seem very difficult. Sometimes people say, why should I bother? No, because those people were just doing the best they could with the limited information they had. You think, oh, well, just doing the best they could. Even though it might have been absolute rubbish, they're still doing the best they could. And then you have to think about why those people became twisted and upset, because the generation before them, because the war, because the generation before that, blah, 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 blah. And eventually we realize that it's all just stories piled on top of stories piled on top of stories. Just let them go, let them go, let them go. Do you really need this vast library of sad stories piled on top of you? Just imagine little you with this vast library of books heaped on your shoulders. Do you really need that anymore? Well, the answer, I think, is no. You can cling on to them if you wish, but doesn't seem much point to me. Maybe we could just thank them and let them go. As we take all the weight off, as we take all the stories away, our body can just soften and relax. The mind can just become calm. So often, the mind's quite agitated. Generally, it takes about 15 or 20 minutes for the mind to settle down. But sometimes your mind will flit away, start thinking about something from your past or your future. Just gently draw it back. Settle it down. I always think about it like a little puppy. The mind wants to run around and play, but even your puppy needs sleep sometimes. Just curl your puppy up in a little basket and give it a stroke, and hopefully it'll just relax and go to sleep. Just let your whole body and mind relax. sleep. When we dissolve into this chi state, it's quite difficult to tell where the chi body begins and the chi world ends, as it were. No, quite difficult to detect the real version of you. I say real, and I'm doing inverted commas in my head. The real version of you. Just allow yourself to soften into chi. Just allow yourself to relax so much. It's not possible, really, to tell where you begin and where the world ends. Where the world ends, you begin. Just become this beautiful chi being. This beautiful, energetic soul. Now we can think about clarifying the mind. Really clearing the mind of the clutter, the debris. Sometimes I think of this idea of a rainy night, gazing through a car windshield, through the windscreen, like a wiper that can go across, just pushing ideas out of the way, leaving you with a clear vision. Sometimes these ideas will come knocking, as it were, come to try and disturb you. You can just clear your inner vision. Allow these ideas to gently be brushed aside. We're not talking about avoidance. You can always come back to them later. But now this time is just for yourself. Clear your mind. Dr. Pang talks about the idea, imagine a beautiful alpine mountain. You come across a pool of water, rainwater, crystal clear, reflecting the beautiful blue sky. Your mind is clear. Many teachers use the idea of a mind like a mirror, reflecting ideas back to the world. So the mirror doesn't take on this idea, doesn't be changed by the idea. Just gently reflects the idea backwards. So too your mind, not taking on. Sometimes you have noises around you, distractions. We just allow ourselves not to be attached by them, not attached to them. This is a strategy also for protecting yourself. When someone makes a comment to you, there's a moment there where you have a choice to accept it or to ignore it. Someone says something rude to you. And in that moment, your reference framework sorts through all of the ideas you've collected in your life and says, this must be true because this person has told me it's true, and I have other stories like that that suggest it's true. And you allow it to go into your life and hurt. Or mind like a mirror just allows you to reflect it back to the person. If you think that, that's up to you. And not allow it to attach to you. In every moment, we have that opportunity not to be affected by the slings and arrows of outrageous misfortune. You have a choice in every moment, whether you wish to take something on or whether you wish it to go straight through you. I always find myself drawn to Bruce Lee's quote about be like water. The power of water, so strong, so malleable, the rocks in the river that after millennia end up as sand on the beach. Water appears to run round the rocks. Water is gently eroding the rocks. Extraordinary depth of power in water. And yet, so fluid. When someone comes to you to add new insult, new pain, just allow it to flow right through you, not attached to your inner system. You don't need to take on anything that anybody wants to give to you. That's just their things, their stuff, their problems, their old patterns firing off. And in the same way, try not to do that to other people. Try not to say things that are calculated to upset. There's this law in the universe that if you hurt someone else, you're actually really only hurting yourself. So now we have to speak from a wise place. Speak from love and kindness. Speak from our hearts. When we hear, we only take on things that are useful. The rest of it just passes through. So now we think about our bodies, dissolved into chi. Open to the chi field. Maybe you've got someone very specific that you wish to work with today. Imagine your mind deep inside. There's an energy field. We call it upper dantian, the upper altar, the upper energy field. In ancient Chinese alchemical terms, they call it the cinnabar field. Whatever that might be. Just sounds nice. Imagine this wonderful field in your head. Imagine the energy illuminating. Allow this energy to illuminate the whole of your head. Illuminate your eyes. Go deep down the ocular nerve where it connects into your brain. We can do the same. The rest of our senses, our nose, sense of smell, all the nerves that connect us to the brain. The mouth, tongue, taste buds, deep inside connected to your brain. Your ears, hearing strong, deep and connected to your brain. Also, the brain itself, of course, with all these funny crenellations, looks like a big walnut. Send chi all the way through your lovely brain. We hear so many stories these days about Alzheimer's and dementia. But in Chinese medicine, that's just seen as being a lack of flow of qi to your brain. Also, in young people, we hear so much about ADHD and things like that. Same thing. Sometimes it's too much qi in your brain, sometimes it's too little qi in your brain. But now we just see our brain working well, perfect. All functions of your brain in tip-top condition. Like a wonderful tune-up for your brain, a service for your brain. Draw qi from your brain down into your throat, your neck. At the back, we have the atlas bone and the spine running down towards our shoulders. And of course, inside our spine, we have spinal column. We have all the fluids and the nerves running through. Perhaps, I don't know how the bones are in your neck, but sometimes they can be a bit crunchy. So we imagine everything working well in that area. Around the front, we can think about thyroid, parathyroid, throat, ability to swallow, all of these things. And imagine just glowing this energy through your head, into your neck, everything working well. Draw this qi into your shoulders and allow it to bathe your shoulders. Sometimes our shoulder joints can be so sore. You can just pour qi inside. Thinking about the actual joint itself. Thinking about the muscles and bones, so many of them. We can soften them. Tight muscles, relax. Soft muscles can be built up. Tendons can be strengthened. So we can change the quality of anything in our body. Open up those joints. Make space inside. So thinking again about the vertebra, perhaps you want to put some space in between your vertebra, down to your shoulders. Perhaps you want to put space in your shoulders and your shoulder joints. Space is a very big thing in 𝐸𝐸-𝐸𝐸. We think about everything being cramped up and tight, like a tight muscle. There's no qi flowing through there. There's very little blood flowing through there. The muscle is so tight. But now we introduce this idea of space. It's like a sponge that's been super compressed, and then you let go and the sponge opens up again. And now we open up space in these muscles. They're like sponges coming back into shape. Open up this beautiful space inside them. Between bones, you can add spongy cartilage. I just want you to think upon this idea for a moment. If everything in your body is made from qi, then why not just replace anything that's breaking down a bit? Sometimes we've had surgery. They've taken things away. Doesn't matter. Put back the idea of it. Rebuild it with qi, because it was built from qi in the first place. You should never feel like your body is damaged or wrong or broken, because you have this universal repair kit to change anything. So deep into the shoulder joints, deep into the upper arms, deep into the elbows, deep into the forearms, deep into the hands. Make that space. Put space in your wrists. Put space in your fingers. So we feel this openness in the arms, the openness in the elbows, the openness that runs all the way down to the tips of our fingers. Sometimes our bones have become a little misshapen. That's very often just to do with stress. So we can release those stresses now. Release the stress in your hands. Release the stress in your wrists and your forearms. Release the stress in your elbows, your upper arms, and your shoulders. Radiate this light from your brain down all the way to your fingertips. Illuminate your arms with chi. An abundance of energy flowing in your arms. Everything working well. Let's think about the chest, structural, the spine. So each of those little vertebrae, perhaps you might want to freshen up the discs in between, send some chi to plump up the cartilage that separates them. Sometimes we have grumpy bits of our back that don't work quite so well. So now we can fill the part of the cartilage once more. Feel the spine working well. Sometimes people have little bone spurs that can be painful. And that's just kind of added little bit of bone that's been added there because we haven't been concentrating on keeping our body in perfect working order. And sometimes when you take your eye off the task of looking after your body, it just does odd things on its own. Why would it do that? So Dr. Pang talks about the chemical factories inside your body. He said you have the most powerful chemical factory on earth. All of the might of all the major pharmaceutical companies in the entire world would not be able to make such perfect custom-made chemicals for your body. Billions of them a day, millions every second being churned out, poured into your body. But Dr. Pang asks you the very serious question, who's in control of this process? Are you asleep at the wheel? You have to be consciously in charge of the process. So if you want perfect chemicals to flow through your body, you have to clear away the stories that are already creating those chemicals. I'm not good enough. I'll never be loved. People hate me. Whatever you tell yourself triggers a chemical cascade in your body. And that pours deep into your bones. It creates misshapen bones, misshapen muscles, organs that don't work. My sister tells me I'm a bad person. That must be true. And that sets up a whole chemical cascade because you've allowed that story. My grandfather used to tell me that I would never amount to anything. That sends a chemical signature through your body. Every one of these thoughts running at a subconscious level is creating the chemistry in your body. And perhaps it's chemistry that you don't need. Every stress, every fear flows chemicals through your body. Underlining all of this, the fear of death. We don't really realize it because we keep it so far away from us. There's this idea that, well, as an agnostic idea, it's kind of when you're gone, you're gone. That a kind of religious idea, maybe there's somewhere you go to, but that's pretty much it. But these days, as people work with Western spirituality, and certainly in ideas like Hinduism and things, there's always been this story that you're a universal being, that your essence never disappears, that you will constantly be here, that you will always be in connection with everything. When you think about that, then those fears can go as well. It doesn't matter anymore. You don't have to be scared. Night becomes day, day becomes night. Life becomes death, death becomes life. And so we flow. If you choose to change the way you think about things, you can release a lot of fear deep inside your body. It doesn't really matter. You can live a light life. And as soon as we live a light life, then suddenly the chemicals start to change in our body. You can just be happy. You can just live in the moment. You can just enjoy what you have. You can just enjoy being here now rather than struggling here now. So why not let yourself relax a little bit? Why not smile a bit? Why not take some of the pressure off? Why not start telling yourself some better stories? Why not get in control of this chemical factory? Just thinking, I have this problem with my, I don't know, liver or breast or whatever it might be. And we just think, okay, so I'm going to change all the chemicals that flow through there now. I'm not going to have any of these bad ones anymore. I'm going to let go of all those stories that have been flooding me with the wrong chemicals. And now I'm just going to imagine sunshine, light, beauty, joy pouring through my body. Love, gosh, time to love your body, isn't it? Time to really fall in love again with this incredible machine, with this wonderful chemical factory we've been given. Time to really, really enjoy it. Time to allow it to flow. Time to allow it to be happy. And so we think about this chemical factory. We take the old stories and push them away. And now we draw these healing stories deep inside. The ability to change the chemicals, the ability to change what they're doing to us. Thinking about our body once more, we think about the spinal column and it's got its new plumped up discs in between. We think about our ribs, round. All of these bones are filled with marrow, and deep inside this beautiful red marrow, supporting your blood system, making the white blood cells, supporting your immune system. Think about your immune, strong, working well. Think about your spinal column. So many nerves in there. Think about the nervous system working well. Think about the marrow system working well. We talked briefly about the thyroid. Deep in your brain, pituitary gland, pineal, thyroid, down in your chest, thymus, by your kidneys, the adrenal glands. All of these things are part of our endocrine system, sexual organs. I mean, it's all over the body, but this is all part of the chemical system as well. Just think about that working well, in total balance. The blood system, think about that, working well. And that brings us to think about the organs. Think about the heart pumping away, flowing this blood around your body. Think about the liver. It does all this cleansing, but it's also doing this kind of temperature thing inside your body, moving all the blood, cleaning it. Think about your spleen and pancreas, cleaning up the blood, supporting your immune system. Think about the kidneys around the back and the urinary system, everything working well there. The kidney is also part of our sexual system, everything working well there, part of this endocrine system. Lungs, of course. Gathering all this wonderful breath into our body, bringing all this chi in, sending it through our body. Lungs do a lot of kind of transporting of everything round. Also, interestingly, in Chinese medicine, the lungs make up this protection field around your body. We call it the 𝐬𝐤𝐥𝐟. They distribute it all around your body, this kind of wonderful suit of armor around your body. wonderful protective shield of energy. Imagine it's sort of 2 or 3 centimeters thick on your skin all the way around, protecting you like a force field. To have these internal organs, balance them, feeling well, blood and qi flowing well through the organs. Our digestive system, everything working well from top to bottom. Urinary system working well. Now we have our sensory organs working well. One of the biggest organs in the whole body, the skin. Imagine your skin glowing, perfect, working well. All the muscles, all the tendons working well. Let's illuminate the upper part of our torso, the middle part of our torso, the lower part of our torso, following this idea of sending love and light into the body. Just dissolving and relaxing. From the head to the shoulders, from the shoulders to the body, from the body down the spine, working our way into our hips and our pelvis, tailbone, into the lower part of the abdomen. Our sexual organs, our hips, hip joints, pelvis, just dissolving everything into qi, illuminating deep inside. And with this idea of illuminating, not only are we dissolving qi, we're repairing things as we go. So often, when we're a child, we have like tonsils or adenoids taken out. Sometimes we have appendix taken out, teeth taken out, all sorts of things removed. We're told it's just for the best and all this sort of stuff. But, you know, you could just perhaps see your body as whole again. And on this point, for instance, what would be the point of putting back an appendix that might burst again? Quite clearly not. What we're putting back is a body that's working perfectly. We're working, everything is in perfect working order now. Everything is absolute balance. I'll stop for a moment to just tell you a story about a gentleman who had a car crash. And he crashed against the steering wheel and burst his spleen. And the doctor said, we have to remove your spleen, it can't be healed. And so they took out his spleen. And for a while, they put him onto this medication to balance out his immune system, to kind of try and do a chemical replacement. But he was a Qigong practitioner. And so he decided to think about rebuilding his spleen. And so he thought about, well, he looked and researched about what does a spleen look like? What shape is it? You know, how does it work? What are its functions? And so he started by visualizing every day, almost like a wireframe model, a sort of a qi outline of a spleen in the right place in his body. And then started by adding back, you know, the density of the spleen, the cells inside, and then started to imagine the function working well. And over a period of about, I think he said 3 months, he just imagined his spleen back in his body in perfect working order, having healed all of the scars, having reconnected the spleen back into the system. And after a while, he just decided to take himself off his medication. And about 3 years later, he happened to be visiting the doctor, and the doctor said to him, hang on a minute, you haven't had your prescription refilled. And he went, oh no, I don't need that anymore. And he said to the doctor, I've rebuilt myself a new qi spleen. I'm sure at that stage the doctor was looking for a white jacket to put onto him, but they did all the blood tests and discovered that, in fact, everything was normal in his body. His body was functioning as if it had a perfect working spleen. Think about that. He'd replaced an entire organ in his body with a qi structure and a qi function. You can do that too. He wasn't anybody special. He just knew what I know, what you now know. That everything is qi and anything can be replaced. Anything can be changed. Anything can be fixed. But of course, if you have things in your body that you don't want, they can be removed. Exactly the same. Just allow tissue to return back the way it should be. Just allow lumps and bumps to dissolve back into nothing. They came from the chi field, and they can return back to the chi field just as easily. So now, with this visualization of sunshine pouring through our body, illuminating the whole of the upper body, now illuminating our hips and hip joints. Gosh, sometimes that becomes a problem when we get a bit older. So we can just now fill space into our hip joints. Feel the joint articulating perfectly, everything working well, no problems there. Hip joints in perfect working order. Thighs strong, muscles strong, deep inside the thighs. I mean, these are really big bones. They're filled with marrow inside. So we can think of the marrow system working really, really well inside the bones. We can think of the bones as being strong. They're like honeycomb, the calcium structure of them. You can think of them as really, really being strong. Sometimes we're told as we get older, the bones get weaker. It doesn't have to be the case at all. You can see your bones much stronger, the function that makes the bones strong, working well. Our knees sometimes can become a bit ropey as we get older. Fill your knees with chi now. Give yourself brand new chi knees. You don't have to go to a surgeon and have surgery. You can just fill your knees with chi, blood and chi flowing well, deep inside your knees, returning to perfect working order. Down into the calves, down into the Achilles and ankle, down into the feet. Just think of the whole lower part of the body illuminated in chi, and the blood and chi flow well. Every aspect of your body turned into chi, every aspect of your body healing. What about this idea of you being truly universal? Think about this beautiful chi field around your body, the 𝐬𝐤𝐥𝐟, this lovely kind of energetic field around your body to protect you. But then we also think of the chi body. It's a bubble of chi around you. If you imagine a meter in front of you, behind you, left, right, up and down, this beautiful field of chi that kind of contains you, protects you, but also connects you to the outside world. Feel the room you're working in, or if you're outside, feel the space around you. Dissolve a bit further. Dissolve yourself out into your countryside or town, city. Dissolve yourself out further into your country, into your continent. Dissolve further out. Think about our beautiful blue planet. We can almost take up a view like a satellite, looking down. Imagine the earth below us. This beautiful, beautiful earth. Why not send some healing chi to our earth while we're here? Where would you like to send it? You can think about an area that comes to mind that might need a beautiful wave of chi. Perhaps it's just a person or a group of people. In this beautiful viewpoint of the earth below, why not just imagine sending a wave of love? Very nice to be able to send our healing to other people. We are part of this vast chi family. And so when you heal others, others heal you too. So we become part of this vast chi family. Millions upon millions of people round the globe accessing exactly the same ideas as you are accessing now, connecting in exactly the same way to the chi field as you're doing now, sending healing into the chi field as you're doing now. So not only can you send good information, you can receive good information. Let's say you have slightly ropey knees that don't work so well. There's going to be 1 million people in the chi field who have good information about knees that they can send to you. But your liver is working incredibly well, it's incredibly healthy. You can send this good information deep into the chi field to help others. "99.5% of our DNA is common throughout the entirety of humanity. So you have healing information. It's totally valid for so many other people. And they have healing information which is totally valid for you. So what is this idea of information? Chi, space, information. It's kind of like being and non-being. And the information changes those two states. So giving bad information to your body and something changes and becomes a problem. Give good information to your body. And all those problems dissolve. We find ourselves right back at the moment of our birth and the information that we're being given. The information we're being given by our parents, our families, society, religion, doctors. We take on all this information. But now, this universal level, there's different information available. There's healthy, healing information available for you in this wonderful chi field of ours. In this chi field, Dr. Pang sending his good information. All of the teachers sending good information. Millions of practitioners sending good information. Blood, chi flow well through your body. Your body is informed by this good information from the vastness of the universe. So we move from our bodies out into the universe with great ease. We move from the universe back into our bodies with great ease. Soften and dissolve out into the chi field. There's a school of thought that says that our universe is bounded by all the information there ever has been and all the information there ever will be. Like a vast library at the end of the universe. And somewhere in that vast library, there's the blueprint of you. You, the perfect version of you. Access that information. Imagine it's possible to draw back the perfect version of you inside your body. Now, bring it back into every cell of your body. We were never taught to look after ourselves in this kind of way. How do we miss this information? Never matter. Doesn't mind. Don't mind. Because now you can bring this healing information back into your DNA, back into your cells, back into every fiber of your being. And when you do, everything starts to change. Everything in your body can change. Everything in your body can be healed. You bring back this information. Your body is healthy. Bring back this information to every cell. Your body is healthy. All of the functions of your body are returning to perfect working order. Fill your body with this information. Allow it to heal. Good information in every cell of your body. All functions of your body, perfect working order. Body healing right here, right now. Change takes place. Every cell of your body working well. Blood and chi flowing well. You happy, healthy, well. Put a big smile on your face to reflect this. When you smile, your body feels it. When you smile, your body knows that there's a chemical change already. When you smile, the whole of your body smiles with you. Just smile for your whole body. A big beaming smile. Just allow that to go through every cell of your body. Just imagine every cell smiling along with you. And love. Or love through your body. When was the last time you thanked your body for all the incredible things it does? We can allow our bodies to get into a really dilapidated state without even noticing. But still they work on for us, still they keep going. So we have to send love and thanks to our body. Be thankful for all of the teachers inside your body. All of the things that have brought you to this moment. All of the things that have brought you to these discoveries. Your body has been this extraordinary teacher for you. You learn something new about it every day. And it supports you in this wonderful journey. So thank your body. Love your body. Smile for your body. So there in a moment, we can be out in the vastness of the universe. And then in another moment, we can be deep inside our bodies. What an extraordinary tool your consciousness is. Imagine the vastness of it all. The billions upon billions of stars. The extraordinary wonders of our universe. And then in a moment, all of this healing chi and good information pouring into every cell of your body and inhabiting your body in perfect working order. How incredible, how extraordinary. We can get lost in the mundanity of life. But now, feel the extraordinary universality of your being. Feel this incredible soul that you are. It makes no difference if you feel like you strayed off the path somewhere, because you bring yourself back to this moment and you project forwards a bright new future. Hey, sometimes your mind says, no, we can't have that. We all know our mind is a bit of a daft thing. Our mind sometimes just gently needs to be brushed to one side to say, yeah, okay, whatever. I'm still moving forwards in joy, happiness, with smiles on my face. You can think whatever you like, mind. And eventually the mind quietens down and gets out of the way. So just think of the next step with a smile on your face. Just think of the next hour, perfect, working well. Just think of today being a sunshine day, beautiful day in your life. And then repeat and repeat and repeat. Every step forward, every tiny step forward brings you closer to complete healing. Every tiny step is a step closer to complete healing for your body. Total wellness. But it's way beyond that we're looking for now. We're looking for longevity. We're looking to have a happy, healthy, long life. To exceed expectations. Our chi is going to drive us through to this beautiful, healthy, long life. The good information inside is paving the way for this beautiful, healthy, long, happy life. Just remember the power of your mind. Just remember that you are the universe. Just remember that you are God. God is you, deep inside every cell of your body. Deep inside every cell of your body. We have to draw ourselves back from this vastness of the universe and bring ourselves and pour ourselves back into these tiny bodies. Sometimes it's easier to do that with your hands, to just gently lift your hands up above your head. Draw the hands up and then imagine pouring yourself back through your body. As we gently draw the hands down, we draw the chi through the body. We start to inhabit every cell. We start to come back into our physicality. Sometimes it seems a shame when you've been out there in the universe to have to come back. But also now, in our new love state for our bodies, we can really enjoy being here, really enjoy our day, really enjoy our life. So pour yourself back into your body. Bring yourself back into this moment of time, right here, right now. Just gather chi up over your head a few times and draw the chi down into your body. So we just have this motion of lifting up and pouring down. And we focus everything deep into our bellies. Draw the chi deep inside. And then maybe you want to do one more, but this time we can actually just land the hands on the belly. So lift chi up. And then pull the chi down through the body. And then draw the hands gently onto the belly. And this helps us to bring ourselves back into the physicality as well. We can just kind of settle our hands on our tummies, and that sort of focuses everything into the center of the body. So you've been out on a vast universal ride. Now we have to come back into our physicality. Let the body know that we're back here in this moment, in this time, in this space. But we never lose our connection. So one of my teachers, Teacher Wei, he says rather cheekily, put yourself in a chi state. That's what we've been doing for the whole of this class. And he just says, put yourself in a chi state. But this is how it feels. Remember how you feel to be in this chi state. Do it often enough and you can access it just in a moment, you can bring yourself into your chi state. Bring yourself back to the center of your body. Bring yourself back into this beautiful, soft way of being. So when you feel yourself challenged by doctors, challenged by family, religion, science, news, the news agenda, bring yourself back into a chi place and then look at what you have to do from this centered, key part of you. To help us come back into our bodies further, let's just draw some circles around the belly button. So you just draw a little circle around your tummy button. Normally do about 3 of them. And that helps us bring all the focus back into this central area. Bring us back into the core of ourselves. So gently focusing back into the physicality of your body. And then you can draw 3 circles in the opposite direction. It just kind of sends a signal to the body. Okay, all of the chi stuff is over. We're coming back into reality, back into this time and space, back into the physicality of our body. And then just hold the hands there for a moment. Just think about your chi layer, Wei Qi layer, one more time. This wonderful field of energy around your body. Just keep that strong, this protective shield. What does it protect you against? Well, I like to think it would protect me against viruses and bacteria, but I also know that, when people make comments or whatever it might be that's going to upset you, perhaps it just bounces off your wonderful chi field. Perhaps you can feel more resolute. Perhaps you can feel stronger and more protected from the outside world because you have this wonderful suit of armor, like a knight, a chi knight, this suit of armor protecting you. And then think about your beautiful chi body, a meter in front and behind, left, right, up, down. This wonderful bubble of chi. It connects you to the outside world, appropriately connects you, but also it has a protective field as well. So you see yourself inside these wonderful shields of energy. You imagine every cell in your body is glowing, filled with chi. All of the functions of your body are healthy. All functions healthy. Do you hear that? Healthy. Blood and chi flowing well, an abundance of energy supporting you, and all functions healthy. Put a big smile on your face. Slowly start to open your eyes. Let's bring the body back into a bit of movement. Stretch out a bit, we can shake out a bit. All of this extra energy we've gathered has gone deep inside. If you want to do like a forward bend or something like that, make sure you do it really slowly. And when you come back up, even more slowly, because you can be very, very dizzy after having stood for a while. So if you decide to do a forward bend, be very, very judicious about it. Let's let the body come into some sort of movement now. Whew. Right, okay, here we are. So to finish off, we always say hao la. So hao la means good already. It's Chinese for good already. It's an affirmation that everything you've done here is good already. Everything is already fixed. And so I count 1, 2, we put our hands up in the air and we shout hao la. But of course, if you unmute yourself, you suddenly become viewable on my YouTube video. So you can say it without unmuting and I'll still know you're doing it. So let's put our hands up in the air. 1, 2, ha la. 1, 2, ha la. Everything is good already. 1, 2, ha la. Oh, lovely. And then we finish off with a little salute. So I don't know if you know, but we put our feet together. The Buddhists do this thing, putting their hands into the prayer position. The Taoists have some sort of thing where they cover one palm with the other. In Zheneng Qigong, we bring the right hand up and the left hand down on top of it, and then pull the fingertips together and put the thumbs on the end. It's a bit like a sort of yin and yang symbol. You hold your hands up in front of you. Thank you very much for being here today. This video is going to go up onto YouTube, and I'd love to have it spread around. You could, I'll post it on our WhatsApp group and Facebook and so forth. And if you can spread it around, that would be great. Share it with all of your friends. Really nice to see you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.